And so I've come into the studio this afternoon. I feel like I've got everything sorted. I'm pretty hopeful that I've got Audacity going. I've managed to log in on my particular music streamer, and it seems like everything's good to go. Audacity doesn't look like it's going, but I'm just gonna hope for the best. Yeah. So what did I land on this afternoon to entertain you for the next 90 minutes? Well, it often depends on how I feel on a Tuesday morning. Not always, but sometimes. And I won't lie, it's been a tough start. I was away over the weekend. I had some family celebrations, my mum's 70th birthday, and one of my bestest mate since I was young, Lana, she turned 55, so there's a couple of celebrations in there, and I came back late on, not too late, but late on Sunday afternoon. It's been a bit of a hump getting over Monday and Tuesday. So this morning I thought, where's my playlist, my hardcore rock playlist? Now, I ain't gonna lie, my playlist is called Rock Your Socks Off, but it's really not heavy rock. I've never been that person that's gone to heavy metal or punk. And I kind of felt a little bit stink about it when I was younger, I guess, through my teens and my 20s, maybe even in my 30s, because I've got brothers that listen to that and mates that listen to real hardcore stuff, and I like rock, but I've got to be able to hear some melody and some guitaring, and when it sounds like a cacophony of noise, it just doesn't vibe with me. So I thought, look, I had a look at my Rock Your Socks Off playlist to try and make something up for you guys this afternoon. And because I always go through and think, make sure there's no swearing, there's nothing too brash or bold on there. And to be honest, what I thought looking at my Rock Your Socks Off playlist is that it's a lot tamer than my Knock Knock playlist. My Knock Knock playlist is what I call rap. And there's probably a lot more swear words on that than the music that I have. So I'm going to play you a few different things this afternoon. I'm going to play some Metallica, Led Zepp, bit of Ozzy Osbourne, Pearl Jam, although that for some people that doesn't even come into the genre of rock. One of my brothers used to call it those country folk singers, but it is to me. I'm going to play a little bit of Live, some Deep Purple, got AC/DC, some Guns N' Roses, maybe some Jethro Tull, some Queen, bit of Chris Cornell maybe from Soundgarden and Temple of the Dog, and if I got time, Kings of Leon, Fleetwood Mac, and a band I just came across on the weekend called Disturbed. Now, I know that sounds like an absolutely massive playlist, and I don't think we're going to get through this in 90 minutes, but that's okay, because I'm back next Tuesday, and we might just have to have a Rock Your Socks Off Part 2 or 2.0. So this band that I came across, everyone's going Disturbed, man, I've heard that before. Well, I hadn't. Apparently, when on Sunday I came back down to Auckland from being at Matakana, and I said to my sons, oh my gosh, this band plays 2 covers of some songs I love, and I love the way they do it. So I played these songs to my son, and my big son said, no, you've heard that before, Mum, because so-and-so and so-and-so had played that, and I was like, no, I must have zoned out to that. So anyway, my friend Lana introduced me to Disturbed again. I wasn't really keen on the song that my son played. He said, oh, you would have heard this one. I don't remember that. Didn't float my boat. But they've done a remake of the Simon and Garfunkel song Sound of Silence. And they also did a remake of cover of Land of Confusion by Genesis. Both really well done. So different than the originals, but you still get that deep vibe of the message of the songs. And then of course, on the Sunday I had to go for the deep dive about the original songs and what they mean, blah blah blah. But we'll kick that off a little bit later, because I'm going to start off with a band that I went to go and see in 1991, AC/DC, ladies and gentlemen. It was at the then named Mount Smart Stadium. It was Saturday the 16th of November 1991. And the sun was shining. It was brilliant. It was the Razor's Edge World Tour. And they weren't actually going to come to New Zealand. They were going to bypass us. But a lot of fans put a big petition together and convinced their management that they definitely needed to put New Zealand on their tour list. So they did. And during their playlist, they played their song Money Talks, and the roof burst with all these fake Angus Young notes, and people just went wild for these notes. They were just fluttering high into the sky and then fluttering down in amongst people. You can imagine what a mosh pit that became even out on the edges. And I was lucky enough to have to get one of those Angus Young notes. It is one of my prized possessions. I was probably only 19 when I went to that concert, young enough to get in amongst it and scrabble for one of those notes. There were thousands of them. And to give you another couple of